As you can see on the driver's side, along the door is a channel, and that channel houses some of the electrical wiring that go to the back of the car. So your tail light, brake light signals, sending unit for the fuel, all that stuff is going to be in the back. And that's the only real cable that runs towards the back of the car. So if you were installing a stereo, you would just run all your wiring on the passenger side instead of this side. Help avoid any interference. Now, to take out the back seat, the top has two clips that just drop in, and you have to push up. You force the seat backwards, so you have to push against the seat and then up at the same time. So it's a little tricky, but the first step is to get down here underneath the seat. You might be able to see there's a bracket at the bottom. Undo that bracket first. There's one on either side, and then you can push the whole seat up. Took it out, you can see the brackets down at the bottom where it bolts in. The rear seat belt mounts. And up here at the top are the hooks that latch the top of the seat to the back. So all you have to do is push back and push straight up. The rear package tray can now come out easily, and we can easily get to the trunk. There's a shock mount, staggered shocks on the '69 Camaro to avoid wheel hop on acceleration. So they're mounted to go at opposite angles and sit on either end of the axle, the rear axle. So here's the sides with no panels. I've taken those off. You can see the headliner's gone. So we're getting real close. I've vacuumed out the car to avoid breathing those toxic fumes. So I vacuumed it out with a shop vac. So now it's on to rear package tray. The rest of any panels back here, there's a couple of the quarter panels back that I have to remove. And then I get to the dash. Okay, I've taken the radiator core out, the little heater unit, and it gives me a lot more room now to get these kick paddles out. One over there and one down here. A lot of the wiring is just going to be thrown away because I'm going to rewire the entire car again. The rats had eaten away at these wires, and it's not really going to help to try to fix it. Some of these wires have been just chewed up. Besides that, when I look through some of the wiring, the previous owners had connected a lot of, well, let's just say interesting items to the chassis. I don't know what they were for. This car is going to be a little bit unique in the fact that it's going to have the battery in the back, so the battery will be located in the trunk. A lot of the extra items in the car, like the heater and any air conditioning, or in this case cigarette lighters, side panels, lights, you know, they're not going to be a part of my wiring schematic. I'm going to have to modify the existing wiring schematic to work with what I need, which will entail, like I said, the battery in the trunk, larger gauge wires, custom ignition system, possibly laying out some wiring for a stereo later on, heavier gauge wire to lights so I can get more power to the lights. I might be wiring some modern fog lights in there, or maybe some of the Xeon headlights, I don't know. But all of that will need to be upgraded. There, I've taken the dash apart. You can see the wiring here. First I took the top of the dash off that was damaged. All the screws that went in right here, you can see how nice, thoughtful process of screwing right into the metal. The top piece came off first. It pulls out from these little slots. There's some levers in the front that push down. Once I got that off, I was able to get this whole instrument cluster out. And then I noticed a couple of things, like under the dash. This is what I was talking about. Look at this. It's a house light used for something, just a toggle. And I have no idea what it's wired to or where the wires go. And I found some more holes in the floor too, behind the gas pedal. A couple more holes drilled in here. Here's the hole for the heater core. And there's some vents and things like that up in here as well. I'm going to take these out. Speaker's going to go. All those vents in there. This vent. Kick panel on this side. All that's going to go. Here's a shot of the front of the car. The nose piece. I scraped away some of the Bondo. And you can see it's pretty bad. And look how thick that Bondo is in there. There's actually a section here where the metal is torn. And that's the steel. So it looks like they tried to repair that tear in the metal with some Bondo, and it's managed to rust from underneath. I've begun to sandblast. Well, it's not sand. Most people don't spray sand anymore. It's some medium like aluminum oxide or walnuts or glass bead. The silica sand is toxic for your lungs and eventually become a problem. Anyway, you can see here I sandblasted part of the steering box, and this is with aluminum oxide. Very small pieces of aluminum. It's like aluminum dust or grains, and it kind of makes everything look silver. You can see here I've done the frame, and I can see all the little imperfections in the factory weld. Amazing. But it sure makes it easier to see all the little details. I can spot problems with the body. I can spot cracks, or, and like I said, in this case, the welds, which I'll probably grind some of these down and clean them up. Since the frame will be visible, I'm going to want to clean that up. The upper ball joint for the A-arm was just caked with grease and mud and just years of junk piled up. Sandblaster just took that right out. Now those heads, when I go to change this, will have to be drilled out. Those are factory installed. I'll have to drill those out in order to install the new ones. Sandblasting always does a nice clean job. For some reason it just makes everything look nice and new. Eliminates the paint, takes it down to the bare metal. The car always looks a lot better that way, instead of multicolored. This car has had several owners, and through the years, many coats of paint. So I've already gone through, I think, 4 different colors.
Well, thanks, John, for bringing us back into your garage. We've learned a lot today. We're going to look forward to the next visit and see how you're doing on your Camaro. You've been making a lot of progress, and we're looking forward to next time. So everybody, until next time, this has been Low Budget Garage saying goodbye.
So I decided to get wine. Now I gotta go. go.